Hello everyone and welcome to Siriana Tarot. This is a you versus them love reading for Gemini. We'll explore your energy, the energy of the person on your mind, and the dynamic between you. Not to fix or chase anyone, but to support your clarity, self-trust, and emotional steadiness. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, Gemini, your person is showing up as the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. All right, they might feel like you are exactly what they've been waiting for. All right, you're showing up as the Emperor, Aries energy in your power. And we see the Empress in reverse. So we have the Emperor and the Empress coming through in the same reading. So it does tell me that there's a strong connection, possibly divine counterparts. But there may be third-party energy that's interfering in this connection, and it could be this person has an ex here that isn't quite done with them or is just ending, but it can also be fears of maybe I'm not good enough, right? So we'll see. Your person, the Eight of Cups energy in reverse. Okay, I kind of feel like your person is in the midst of some sort of transformation or transition, Gemini, and it feels like you're holding space for them. Now, I don't know if they're getting out of another connection. I don't know if they're moving, if they're changing jobs. It kind of feels like you're waiting for this person to like fully free themselves up, right? And of course, maybe they're at a distance from you and they're not around you just yet. For example, they're moving back to your area. Or maybe they're getting out of a connection, but you're really waiting for that to be final, or for them to fully move out, or for the divorce papers to be delivered, or whatever it might be. All right, because I do feel like this person isn't quite ready. All right, but they're almost there, and you're holding space, Gemini, Emperor energy. You're also holding yourself in high regard. You're not going to be invested or get involved in something that doesn't serve you, or that, isn't in alignment with you. So I do think you're being very strategic. You're being very discerning. You're also holding strong boundaries here. Like, I don't want to be a part of a third party situation. I don't want any drama. So I think you're holding firm there, Gemini, and I love it. So we see the Eight of Swords. Yeah, I think your person still has a karmic situation to release. I don't know if it's them healing, like it could be a job, it could be another relationship, whatever it is. You'll probably have a better idea than I do. But double eights here tell me that there's abundance and there's ascension. Okay, so it feels like they're cleaning up their side of the street, and you're holding space for that. They're viewing you as the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So they know that maybe you're feeling a little bit disappointed, or they might feel like you're not giving as much as they would like you to, Gemini. But, tough cookies. I feel like, I feel like you're holding firm, and you're not about to do all the emotional labor, or you're not about to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation if you don't have to, because it feels like you've learned your lesson, right? You know who you are, you know what your deal breakers are, you know what you deserve, and it's like this person isn't quite ready. They really want to be okay, but they're not quite ready, and I feel like you're just really holding firm here, Gemini. All right, so we see the Seven of Cups. Okay, yeah, so again, I think I don't necessarily feel like you're confused about this connection. I think you know that you feel really strongly about this person. You want to be with this person, but you don't want to compromise your values, your integrity, your reputation. You want to do things right. That's what I'm getting. And, you may not be fully invested. You may be even exploring other options until this person is fully available, right? Because I don't see the Emperor putting his life on hold, even if he's holding space for a connection. Now, of course, not all of you are dating other people, exploring other options, but you spend a lot of time wondering about this person, maybe fantasizing about them, but you are very grounded in reality about what you will put up with, what you will invest in, and what you won't. See, you're viewing this person as the death card, Scorpio energy. But I do like this because I don't think you see this as over. I think you know this person is going through a major transformation. And I don't get that, my Geminis, you're not supportive of this, right? I think you fully are supportive of this. And you probably, comfort this person, talk to this person. But at the same time, you're like, I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I lose, or where, my values are compromised, or my reputation is compromised. All right, so we do see that there's some sort of third-party interference here. All right, and we see judgment energy in reverse, and your person is viewing the connection. This person is a little bit worried, Gemini, that because you're holding firm, because you have strong boundaries, that they don't really stand a chance, or it's never really going to happen. They do really want it to happen. All right. They may also be seeing that they need to make a really big decision, or they need to wait for this big decision to be finalized, or to be out of this karmic situation, or whatever it might be, or this transition to be complete before this connection with you can up level. Like, they've got to get into Empress in the upright energy, because you're showing up as Emperor energy in the upright, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. But they also know that they have some up leveling to do before, this can go anywhere. And you're viewing the relationship as the 9 of Cups, so you really do want this. This is your wish fulfillment. But like I said, you're not going to compromise your values. You're not going to compromise your integrity or your reputation. Some of my Geminis, you're also being very realistic that, like, if this person can't clean up their side of the street, or wrap up this karmic cycle, or get it together and move to be near me, or whatever it is, right, then you will chalk this up to, this was fun, right? This was fun. But I mean, I think you want more. That's what I'm saying. I do think you want more. But we see the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, but you're not about to overgive. And it's not you. I'm not picking up on my Geminis being stingy. I'm actually picking up on you being realistic, grounded, and mature. This person needs to clean up their side of the street. There needs to be an up-leveling here before you're willing to move on. Like, you're not willing to put yourself in a third party situation, is what I'm seeing. Or you're not willing to, some of you, be in a long distance relationship. Okay, it's like, no, I'm not going to, be in a committed long distance relationship. That doesn't work for me. I've learned my lesson, right? Like, whatever it is, you're standing strong and firm. It doesn't have to be either of those two things, but you are standing strong and firm in your values here. And I think you really want this to happen. I also feel like this person feels like you are everything that they've been waiting for. I think you dream about this person. You fantasize about what it would be like to be together, but you need receipts. Okay. You need, action. You need to know that, they're where you need them to be. Okay. And we see this person, the second chakra, Archangel Ariel. So this is somebody who's very creative, very sensual. Okay, there's a really strong attraction between the two of you. They want to make this happen. They may be coming up with creative solutions on how to make this happen. Yeah, this person really does want to invest. All right, so I do see somebody here coming up with creative solutions on how they can make this work with you, and they are action oriented. So this is not someone who's not going to put their money where their mouth is, because they realize you're not going to really concede and be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to lower my standards here, or I'm going to compromise my values. And they realize that, and they realize they need to step up to you, and I think they're going to. All right. And look at that. They're building up that strength and courage with the Strength card. All right. This person, Leo energy, is very, where there's a will, there's a way. So this person is as determined, as you are, but they're determined to do what they need to do to get into the energy you need them to be in, or to be near you, or to, close out another situation, or whatever it is, get themselves settled. So, yeah. And it's like, I feel very strongly, Gemini, you have somebody coming in to meet you where you are, but you're also showing them and other people how you tolerate being treated, right? How you need to be treated if they want to be in a relationship with you. And there's a real power here to your energy. All right, so we see kisses, Gemini, and their energy, unconditionally loving, giving and receiving affection, falling in love. All right, we see photograph, looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, making new memories. All right, and one more. Well, not one more. So this person is missing you. They're loving you. All right, they're ready to make new memories. In your energy, we get the Phoenix. So a new phase, a rekindling, a renewal, a transformation, growth, and changed mind. So you would like a new phase with this person. You know, in some ways, this person might be coming back around to you, Gemini. But I also think that you've worked really hard to be where you are, and you don't want anything to set you back, or you don't want to go backwards. And we see I like you. Yeah, and what I like about this energy is someone likes you, romance is blooming, fun, flirting, wanting to date, which is definitely the case. Their feelings for you are stronger than that. But I also think that you have strong feelings, but you're also willing to chalk this up as this was fun if they can't meet you where you are. And there's a real power in that, Gemini. There's a real power in that. All right, so let's see what's hidden. What here might be hidden that my Geminis aren't seeing? Yeah, you're really standing firm here, Gemini. And I see it working out in your favor. All right, so we see a new love or a new phase in love is beginning. Yeah. I think you're forcing them to step up here, and I think they're doing it. I think they're up for it. And we see parasitic, symbiotic. One party benefits while the other is depleted. Energy, support, and empathy are not equal. Give and take needs to become balanced. And I think what I'm seeing here is right now, whatever that third party energy is, whether it's distance or another connection or them not having room in their schedule for you, you are not about to get into a parasitic, symbiotic relationship. You need equal give and take. And I think that's where you're forcing them to step up and meet you, Empress into Emperor energy. And are they there yet? I don't think so. Are they about to be there? Probably. Like, it's like this person is, you know, I feel like they are willing to make sacrifices, or they are willing to do what they need to do here, Gemini. All right, what do they want to say to you? I feel pain from the damage I have caused, or they feel guilty here, maybe about putting you in this situation or about causing stress, all right? And I don't want to run anymore. They do want to step up to this. They want to step up to you, all right? And we see detachment. I had to let this go so I could clear my mind. So this person may be, you know, maybe you haven't heard from them in a bit, or maybe, you know, they just had to detach to figure out, okay, what can I do here to save this, right? Or what can I do here so that I, you know, really have a chance to make this work with Gemini? Like I said, you're standing firm, you're in your power, and I think it's going to go in your favor. But I also feel like you're my Geminis, you're not too attached to the outcome, which doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't even mean you don't love this person, but you're so in your power where you're like, whatever happens, happens. I'm going to be okay. Because you've put that type of work into yourself. And I'm going to tell you, that makes you so attractive. All right. What are their next actions towards my Geminis? 9 of Cups. All right. And Judgment card. Making a decision about what they really want here. All right. And the 3 of Cups in reverse. Third party energy. Tower. I think they're going to shock and surprise you. I think a third party here may be surprised at the decision that they make, because it does feel like they're choosing you here, Gemini. Again, not all of you. Is it another relationship? I mean, it certainly could be, you know, like work or something like that. All right, let's see. Advice and guidance for my Geminis, please. Advice and guidance for my Geminis, please. All right, you are still whole. This moment doesn't diminish your worth, so just remember that. I don't feel like I need to say that to most of my Geminis, but, you know, sometimes when you're holding strong, you know, you might be like, am I, you know, am I on the right path here? Spirit saying you are. If it matters, it deserves a voice, okay? So don't hold back. If it matters, you need to say it. And at the bottom of the deck here, we see stay grounded, Gemini. Emotional grounding changes how everything lands. But from everything I can see in this reading, Gemini, you're in your power. In fact, it feels like a lot of my gems, you have the upper hand here, okay? All right, I'm going to leave it here, sending you love and light. Take care.